Yes, people. I think this is a record, guys, by the way. There's 200 people waiting before we've even gone live. Crazy, right? Crazy. I'll big up every single one of you that's here. Make sure you smash the like button. Anyone that's already done so in the build up, great. You should already know by now. We're always, if it says 10 o'clock, we'll probably be live by 10 past 10 or something.
And do you know what? As we're getting really honest now, I would imagine that was my fault.
Yes.
And I'm going to blame my daughter today.
Oh, yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to start blaming others. But other than that,
it was Kiana's fault. I let her stay up later than her mum does, being honest with you.
Yeah.
But the minute I'm like, right now, come on, it is time to turn your iPad off. She'll all of a sudden start wanting to do the things that she should have been doing for the hour before. Oh, I need to do this, I need to do that. But we are here anyway.
Yes, as what we said.
I know you've had a good Sunday.
Guys, we are here. Today we're going to talk about Manchester United. So, we've all done a Liverpool segment, done a Man City one. We've done Arsenal, Chelsea, and so forth. Today's Man United, and that's because really and truly it's kind of in favour, and it kind of mixed with Chelsea and a little bit of Arsenal, and maybe a little bit of City as well. They've got a Haaland of a centre back, as you lot know. Chelsea, Moises Caicedo given the yes, but apparently Chelsea, according to Gary Jacobs, saying that Chelsea are not willing to pay over 80 million for the guy, or 80 million. Alongside that, his contract as well up in the air. Recycled journalism for what it is, but is it really? And lastly, but not least, it's Eric Ten Hag's frustrations as a whole. We have to talk about that and where we actually see Manchester United, and we have to have an honest conversation about it. Honest conversation with Qatar or not with Qatar, because it could get worse before it gets better. Other people might have different ideas, but other than that, Mo, how was football?
It was good. So I'm driving like a maniac on the highway, trying to catch the show. There's 15 minutes, and I'm 15 minutes away.
I'm surprised you can see where you're going. Have you got your booster seat?
Yeah, of course. It's always there. It's always there. Good one. And then I come here, and then
you get abused.
Sorry,
I just realised that you two were. I thought you two were being rude and ignoring me because I kept speaking. I realised the battery had gone on my mic.
Yeah.
Now my battery gone. There is other news as well on Bernardo Silva, actually.
Oh, go on, share it. Let's get
apparently City are offering Bernardo some improved.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, an improved contract, which is interesting. I mean, look, there could be. I would imagine we were doing that anyway, but I don't know if, right? Because I've been saying, example is when De Bruyne goes, people say, "Oh, who's going to replace De Bruyne?" And I've said before, sometimes you don't replace players. Sometimes, especially with managers like Pep, we'll find a different way of playing, right? So, for me personally, I don't think Kovacic is a direct Gundogan replacement. Gundogan has now gone. And City said, with Gundogan going, we'd like to go in for Declan Rice. Then it seems like West Ham have said, just to let you know, Declan Rice wants Arsenal. So I think City have gone, okay, we're not even going to go in for him. We're not going to bid for him. I still do think the media will make out City going to bid for him. I don't think City actually will bid for him.
Crazy,
but that might make City then go, right. So if we can't get Declan Rice, what do we do? Who do we want? And they're looking at, and maybe they've gone, do you know what? Let's try and keep Bernardo. Let's try and keep Bernardo for another year or two. Then we've got Kovacic, so midfielder for midfielder replacement. Pep can work with it. And maybe City are thinking, do you know what? With Gundogan going, because I did always say losing Gundogan and Bernardo in one summer would be a difficult thing to do. Maybe they thought, if we're getting Rice in, we can do it. But now with that, I don't know if maybe City are thinking,
so how do you know that City are not bidding for him? Maybe they're just saying that to avoid embarrassment.
Oh, my God. Mo, I don't know anything, Bo. None of us know anything. But I've given my reason. My reason very much is, because you know what Pep Guardiola is like. Everyone knows what Pep Guardiola is like. If a player doesn't want to be there or wants to be at another club, we've had this conversation. I've done about 8 streams where we've spoken on it, Mo. Alisson, Van Dijk, the minute we knew Van Dijk wanted Liverpool, we didn't bid on him. So I personally, if what we hear is true and West Ham have said to City, by the way, Declan Rice is really keen on the move to Arsenal, I think City, to save embarrassment, won't bid for him. Because exactly that, they don't want to be embarrassed. They don't want to be City, the treble winners, and have Declan Rice go, oh, no, I'd rather go to Arsenal. So I actually think City would say to Pep, What do you think? And Pep will go, nah, pull out of it.
Tony,
Like,
do you
Yeah,
know
I
anything
agree.
about
Oh, yeah,
Bernardo?
that I agree with you. This
No, but,
narrative, absolutely 100%. Sorry, because
I saw
this
some-
and then
narrative, absolutely
Bernardo,
100%.
and then at that
Yeah,
point,
yeah.
I think they're looking at who they could go for, and they're probably going, well, we could go for very similar with our last season when we got offered money for Ake, and they went and had a look at the market and go, nah, let's keep Ake. I don't know if maybe City are looking at the market, midfielders, and how much midfielders are going to cost. Bidding wars, probably don't want to go near Caicedo because it would mean they're in a bidding war with Chelsea, and just gone, before we are forced into going and buying another midfielder, why don't we try and convince Bernardo one last time? Why don't we
I actually
just...
think Bernardo's gonna stay at the end. If Barcelona they don't come knocking, he's staying. If Real
I just
Madrid
don't
don't
know
come knocking, he's
I
staying.
just don't know where he goes, man. It just depends on who. Maybe PSG.
Where would he go,
have
Cass? Can you tell me
No,
where
but
would he go?
the hardest thing is
so
Bernardo.
exciting.
But
PSG
Bernardo is,
man.
yeah. I don't think PSG is a project necessarily at the moment that's appealing. I think PSG is something we
agree with
really
that
have to look at and go, we don't know the direction they're going in at the moment, and someone would have to do some convincing there. Now, I'll be honest with you, Bernardo always has been. His mentality is amazing. He wants to win. He's a winner, right? And I think he's probably at his age still wants to win more. However, we have to be honest, he's a human being. He has now won most things. That Saudi money could turn anyone's head.
It could turn anyone's head.
It could turn that type of money really could turn. And the reason why
Well,
Bernardo
it didn't turn Lukaku's head, apparently.
Yeah, it didn't.
mad.
It didn't turn Lukaku's head, which is astonishing, by the way.
Anyways, moving on from a little bit of Man
But yeah,
City.
that's it on City. There we go. I won't talk
Arsenal
about
just
it.
signed. Well, they didn't sign him. They agreed on a verbal for Timber, and now it's all up to the fee, right? What I don't get about this is why it's news, because I thought we already knew this. I thought they already had all the agreements done, and I know Mike Verwey. What the hell
That was me. That was me. Sorry.
Yeah. Other than him confirming it, I thought we kind of already knew this, that the clubs are just trying to agree a fee for Jurriën Timber, right? So I'm looking at it along the lines of, is this really anything new? Because it's a great signing, by the way. Like if he's given the go ahead and said, yeah, like I want to join you guys. Like I think was it Fabrizio as well? There's nobody else in for him. It's a free run. Yeah. As well. Arsenal's got to get this.
It's all confusing, bro. It's all confusing because you look at that one, right? And like on that one, we've heard now that Arsenal and Timber have agreed terms, right? Like we agreed that Kovacic and City had agreed personal terms, but City and Chelsea hadn't. And then the next thing is City and Chelsea have. Then you hear like Vardio, apparently City and Vardio have agreed terms, but City and Leipzig haven't yet. On this one, we've now heard Timber and Arsenal have agreed personal terms, but the clubs haven't yet. So it does take me back to Declan Rice and ask the same question I keep asking. If they started talking back in February, why have we not heard that personal terms have been agreed yet? Like nothing on that deal, the Rice deal, still, and that's the only bit that confuses me is why on all these other ones you hear personal terms are agreed early doors, then the clubs do the business. Declan Rice is the only one that we're saying they have been speaking since February, right? Apparently, Declan Rice wants
Arsenal fans will tell you it's agreed. Arsenal fans will tell you it's agreed.
When I was on the other day, this is what I said. I said, let's be honest, because all we're doing at the moment is we're going by rumours. We are talking about what, say, Fabrizio or Ornstein, let me finish, Cass, have said. And the only one, and I said to Miguel, I said, so I'm asking you an honest question. Have you seen anyone tweet that personal terms have been agreed? And he said no. And this is the thing. It's like, it just confuses me. If he wants your club this much, if you've been negotiating with him this much, why are personal terms not even agreed yet? When everyone else has agreed this before the clubs make the agreement. It's just, and like I keep saying, I do think he'll end up going Arsenal, but there's something about it that just, I'm still not sure on, because it's like, why have they not agreed? If he wants Arsenal that much, why is personal terms not being reported as being agreed?
Don't know yet. It's just that's a sticky one. But I thought they got agreed back in Feb.
But no one's.
It never happened. I doubt. I doubt it happened
ages ago. Moving on all that rubbish. Dan Sheldon Sports. Now Dan Sheldon Sports. This is just moving on to Man United. 12 minutes ago, he said Man United. He's a football news report covering for Man City and Man United for the Athletic. And the views are his. So he says MUFC have made contact on Adrian Rabiot over a potential move. They unsuccessfully tried to sign the 28-year-old from Juventus last year. He's available on a free and is viewed to go. So they made contact. And also, I've just seen as well that from the Athletic as well, Manchester United have also held talks with Moises Caicedo's representatives over a move from Brighton. I've had 3 bids from Mason Mount rejected by Chelsea as they look to strengthen the midfield ahead of the new season. Now, I don't understand this part. I never have ever heard of Dan Sheldon Sports, but is that Dan Sheldon Sports talking, or is he just reporting for the Athletic and he's just one of these guys that are just like a freelance?
I must admit, I haven't heard of him as a Man City and Man United.
Yeah, I've seen him around, but I don't know about him as a source. Unless someone can tell me in the comments about him. But if they're saying along the sides of getting Rabiot on a free, I'm taking him. Right? On a free, I'm taking him. But if you're also making contacts with Caicedo as well, is that via the Athletic or is that via Dan Sheldon Sports?
I think it's via him. His Twitter account isn't the official account for a reporter for the Athletic because he has it clear said that views are mine. When journalists put that, that means the paper told him you can tweet on your own.
Yeah,
you do your thing, but this is your thing. You're not speaking on our behalf. You're not representing the Athletic. But however, this is old news as well. Like this Adrian Rabiot, Man United, charm, that flirting between the club and the player has been since last year. But you didn't want to pay the fee that Juventus wanted. Juventus project is gone, is done. They confirmed that Allegri is staying. The club will play Conference League. And today the club actually spoke with UEFA about actually leaving the Conference League just to solve their problems. So they're not serious. They want to rebuild. And Adrian Rabiot is old. He wants to play in the Euros next one. Playing for Juventus isn't going to help him. Playing for Man United will definitely help him. So I think Champions League football for him, he's going to add to your squad. I like Adrian Rabiot. I think he's actually better than a Mason Mount, even though he's free. He's a better player. He's just established that. He's a World Cup winner. He's a very good player. Adrian Rabiot. We saw him at the World Cup. He was one of the hearts of that France midfield. I think Adrian Rabiot is a very good player.
How old is he?
He's 28, so he's at the peak of his career now. Yeah, the right age.
On a free, that's spot on.
Exactly. So I think he's going to ask for a lot of money, but a lot of money isn't a big problem for Man United. His a lot of money isn't England's a lot of money.
Yeah, but yesterday, the Mars was saying that Rabiot was set to stay at Juventus, or Juventus were looking to keep him along them lines. Rabiot's mom is not his agent no more. She's not involved in his football life no more, so that's done.
So here's the thing, Cass. Because they are looking to sell Chiesa, Vlahovic, he knows that the project is not serious. He knows that this is the club going to a different direction of winning. They just want to balance the books because of the problems they have. They have point deduction. They still have a case going on. I think it's not even resolved yet. I think it's a fantastic move for Man. I think you just do this like what Inter did with Thuram, free agent, go sign him before anybody starts like poking around and seeing that he's available and go sign him. He suits he suits actually Ten Hag.
Yeah, but the thing is, you can look at him as a guy that can play 8 and 6. I wouldn't say he's anything great. He just gives me McTominay vibes. The only way I would accept him is he's a major upgrade on someone like McTominay. Only if McTominay is to leave. Chris Wheeler said Man United looking to sell both McTominay and Harry Maguire. Then I can take someone like that on a free. You just made money on profit on McTominay and you got someone in on a free. It's just Mason Mount and Rabiot as your 2 midfield signings. And they said that Man United are looking to make 2 midfield signings this summer, whether one comes later or now. I'm not happy with that personally. But I would take a Rabiot and Caicedo all day long. I'll be like, you know what? All right, cool. I wouldn't mind that. But
can I ask a question? Is Rabiot? Can I ask a question, Cass? Can I ask a question? Is Rabiot Mount an upgrade on McFred?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course it is.
Number one. So let's just establish this. This is an upgrade. I know you want Caicedo and you want Mount, but if you don't have the finances or Caicedo's going somewhere else, you're gonna have to be stuck with Fred and McTominay, or you get Rice, or you get Rabiot and Mount. I'll go with Rabiot and Mount. Especially that means it's free. That means both of them are 50 million. Okay.
Yeah,
not a bad deal at all.
No, it's not.
Rabiot's mum is not his agent.
He fired her.
Yeah, he's gone. He's gone. You know what I'm saying? Allow
He
it.
fired him.
Believe me, now how many times do you have to explain this on the stream? But
All
other than that,
right, touchy.
no, because he does this every stream. Anything Man United related, trust me, the guy is straight
What?
on.
And coincidentally, in anything Man United negative, coincidentally, you're barking like that at him. So you know
No,
he's
not
only doing
really.
what
It's
you're
just
doing.
every stream, man. Like, relax.
So if that was about City Players agent, would you be reacting the same?
No, it's not about the Rabiot thing. I'm just saying it's every stream. Every time something Man United, like, no.
Yeah, and if it was about Man City, you wouldn't react like that. But because it's about Man United, you're reacting like that. So you and him are doing the same as each other.
Wait. What do you mean I'm doing the same as each other? Do I ridicule the sources of Man City's or whatever's going on?
Nibble.
Who are we talking about here? Sorry.
Someone in the comments, Cass has just rattled off the
It's
comments.
crazy, man. He just does it every stream, every time, man. He's so eager for Man. Obviously,
Fraser, thanks for the support. Please smash the like button.
Who was that? Can I know the name?
He's just in the comments.
I've
It's
said
not
the
a big
name 5 times, bro. Flipping hell. I don't need to.
Anyway, look, there we go. Come on. This is what someone commented earlier saying this channel's the easiest channel to rattle. And Cass, you've just proven it.
I don't care.
I'm just saying.
Who cares if we get rattled? Who cares? It's not.
Oh, definitely not me. Definitely not me. I'm just saying. Salute. So comments. Keep the comments coming.
As well.
Who, me? No shit, Sherlock. What was the first clue? That's what I just said.
Here you go.
I know. I'm just saying, keep the comments coming, people. If you like if you're one of those weirdos that just likes rattling people, this is the best channel to be on because you will rattle the hell out of us. Mo, where's your stress ball?
I need one of them at this point.
Oh, you know what? It's getting further away from him, which means that you're getting happier.
I just played football.
Usually you've got it. And
Fraser, it's Fraser. Oh, you do rattle me as well, Fraser, because you keep commenting like, what do you think about that? Yeah. How much is this guy? How much is that guy? Oh, how about you sell this guy?
Yeah, you know what? I'm not going to change for no one. I don't need to be. I'm not getting paid by next people to be responsible and all this stuff. I'll say whatever I want when I want. It's as simple as that.
But Fraser is one of the guys that has been with us.
Oh, you're hard.
Fraser's cold.
You're hard.
Fraser's cold. And another one who's like him as well. Well, actually, to be fair, he's worse. Is HM. He's never got nothing nice to say.
Nothing nice about me.
He hates me. HM like
he hates all of us.
Perfect. Here, though,
HM. Yeah, he's like every time I say something about Chelsea, I have an agenda against Chelsea. Anyway,
I don't even know where. I swear he's a Liverpool fan.
Is he?
That would make so. If he hates all of us, that would make perfect sense. I can understand why Liverpool fans wouldn't like me or Cass.
Was having a good day. Weather was nice, and then I saw that we might be extending David De Gea. My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined. Big up Ganzo. I ain't seen you in a long time. Hope you're all right.
So let's talk about the goalkeeper situation.
No, I don't.
Let's talk about the likes firstly before we get into a deep goalkeeper conversation. What are the likes on? It's on 130. Right, so listen, people, there's nearly 600 people in here, and we love every single one of you and what you do. You are the reason why we're hitting the records that we're hitting and doing everything that we're doing, because you watching, like, if you watch this show and watch it from the start to the finish, or even watch 20 minutes of it, 40 minutes of it, YouTube recognizes that and goes, oh, people actually like this. If you hit that like button, YouTube sees and goes, oh, wow. People actually like these weirdos that are talking about football. Even if you get involved in the live chat, YouTube notices that. And then it pushes us out to people that haven't watched this before. And then some of them will watch it and some will think weirdo's not going to watch it again. Some of them will say, oh, you don't respect each other. You're Muppets and we're not going to subscribe. No problem. Go away. Go watch Terrace or something. But if they do like it, they subscribe. Then it pushes out to more people. So the moral of my story really quickly is that like button, and why we ask you to press it, it might seem like a really simple thing. And you hear every single YouTuber playing, please hit that like button in the face and subscribe and all that. But if you could subscribe and if you could hit that like button, it will make our numbers go up. Thank you very much.
It's true. Man United are crap. I don't even blame. You know what? It's not your fault, Fraser. It's Man United's fault.
Okay. Still beefing with Fraser.
No, I said it's not his fault. I said it's Man United's fault. So it's not beefing with him, is it? Big up Micro says Premier League has won. PL has won the Champions League 3 in 5 years. Is it continuing? Oh,
great question. Mike,
3 in 5 years. Are we making the Champions League? The
Farmers League. So it's not just the Premier League, it's the Farmers League now. Now the Champions League's the Farmers League as well. We're all farmers.
What are you saying, Mo? Another Premier League team to win?
It's 3-3. Yeah, I think Man City are favorites next year as well. Let's start the pressure from now.
I don't know. I think Real Madrid have.
Why are you putting it on us? That pressure needs to go in Arsenal's direction. 100%.
Arsenal's direction? You think Arsenal can win the Champions League?
No. You know what? I'll be honest, but I expect Arsenal. Remember last season, and the reason why we say this is because last season, Arsenal fans, and we have to be clear, yeah? We can't just take what happened and what Arsenal fans said in the last 3 weeks of the season. We have to go by what they were saying most of the season. And what they were saying is that if they were in the Champions League, they'd win it, right? They said it, not me. Not me. So I'm going to cut them some slack and say, no problem. Maybe you were getting carried away, but you better hit that semi-final. You had better. You can't be telling everyone else. You can't be laughing at Liverpool, laughing at Chelsea, laughing at all these other teams and going, if we were there, we'd be doing this and that. Despite the fact in 19 years, you reach one semi-final and one final. You are there next season, right? And you're improving. And Smith Rowe is back in it. Smith Rowe's going to be absolutely cooking next season. Like, he's unbelievable.
Have you seen the Lee Gunners clip about Kai Havertz? You've not seen it yet? Yeah, it's hilarious.
But I expect Arsenal to go on an extremely good run in that Champions League and show us how it's done. And then when they win something next season, they can also show us how they would do parades best as well. Because we need to see that, because they've been claiming that one as well. So
we really can get a chance to talk about Man United for real.
Go on, we'll talk about Man United.
Yeah. Let's talk on De Gea and that situation before you talk about Caicedo and if that battle is even going to be a thing. Or Mason Mount, is it PR spin? What does it look like at this moment of time? But with the De Gea thing earlier, I think it was Jay Burt Telegraph. I'm not really a big fan of him. I would say he's more of a tier 3 alongside it, but there has some relevance. He said that Man United and De Gea have they agreed terms over a new deal at Man United, but both parties aren't sure if they want to sign a new deal. And if we're going to go along those lines, that happened like 3 weeks ago. It'd be nice to have one of your guys' attention while you just both of you on your phones.
Sorry,
I'm just checking that all you Arsenal fans are rattled like I hope.
Yeah.
So
you see this, guys? Look how rude it is. You ever see me go on my phone?
Sorry, what were you saying?
Exactly. I shouldn't even.
I can see what's on the screen.
Oh my god, it's really we didn't. I'm like, oh my.
Yeah,
sorry.
you don't go on your phone because you've got 2 screens and
I've got one screen.
You got 2. Actually, you got 1 screen, but you can split screen it.
I got
Yeah. We've all got screens. Other than that, yeah.
Daps, you have 2 screens in front of you, don't you?
Yeah, bro, I can't even see the one in front of me, let alone the one to the left. These are the only sunglasses I've got that aren't prescription as well. So I literally, this is just a blur. Huh?
This whole talk's a shambles already. It's chaos. There's no.
It's fantastic. I'm loving this show. This is no stress. It's fantastic. It's like I don't have to think about what I'm gonna say. I'm just gonna say whatever comes to my mind, bro.
Right, go on.
Don't have to organize things and put an argument and fight Igal and talk to Dawood. I'm like, no, whatever, man.
Talk to the wood.
Oh, you've had enough of them this week.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's too many of them.
Come on, Man United. Let's talk on Man United.
So De Gea, Jay Burt Telegraph is he works for the Telegraph. That's his actual ad. He was saying that Man United have agreed new terms or just agreed terms with De Gea, not new terms, just terms with De Gea, but both parties are unsure if they want to sign the deal. And I think that's got a few Man United fans rattled because that sounds like he's signing a new contract. But if you actually deep it 3-4 weeks ago, that was exactly the same thing that was going on with Manchester United and De Gea. There was terms there. It's always been there. It's just that both parties don't want to sign because I don't know, something changed after that FA Cup final, and then everything went tits up after that. So now you got one party who Man United doesn't want to sign him on the length of deal that he probably wants and the wages where he does, if he probably feels it, he deserves all that. But when you think about it, if he does sign, let's say then De Gea is basically signing for money, right? Because if you love the club and everything, you just take the deal. If you really want to be here, you would take that deal, would you not? If you really want to be a part of the project
out there, you probably want to see what else is out there.
But yeah, I think he's just had enough of Manchester.
The problem with Manchester United goalkeeper situation is that you cannot let De Gea go before you actually sign somebody. The reason why is that preseason is going to start and you actually don't have a goalkeeper. Who's your second goalkeeper? Is Dubravka? Who's your second goalkeeper at the moment?
I think we've only got Tom Heaton at the moment. Mateo
Exactly. That's the only guy, right? It's on the roster. It's the only one, right?
Dean Henderson's about to get sold to Nottingham Forest.
So he's still on loan, right? Yeah, so he's still on loan.
So that's the problem. Like, you cannot just let De Gea walk, assuming that you're gonna get somebody while shit might hit the fan, and then you have nobody, and then
we got no choice. In 6 days, is there 31 days in July or
30,
June?
30 days.
So in 5 days, he's walking anyways.
So that's why I think, because you haven't closed Onana yet, and you haven't signed Costa yet, you have to keep talking to him. I think he has the upper hand at the moment. You haven't signed somebody and told the guy, listen, it's either that wage or nothing, because he knows you have nobody. You're not gonna let him walk without signing somebody. That's not how football works. Assuming that I'm gonna go get the Onana or get Costa. You might not get that. You might not.
Well, it looks like, I don't know, but Onana's agent was in Manchester, so something was there. I think they just got to wait until they want to put some sort of bid in, and maybe they're just waiting for this Mason Mount thing to get over the line, or not, before they say, you know what, let's go sign a keeper. That's going to be our priority. That's why they might be looking at Adrian Rabiot and thinking, you know what, go get Adrian Rabiot on a free for now, and go prioritize a goalkeeper. No, I think we have to prioritize a goalkeeper. It makes sense. It's all in the Athletic right now as we speak.
I think you're right. You just touched on a really good point there, actually, which is the date. And I would imagine that this week we'll probably see a lot more deals start to roll through. You know, at the moment, despite what Grizz has a really good point. Grizz actually has a really good point that despite us doing a show earlier about, or yesterday about Liverpool and, Liverpool falling behind, Liverpool actually officially have a deal done. I actually think Kovacic isn't official yet. It's like, we know it's done or everything's been agreed, but it's not official. Very few have been actually, done deal. They've got the here we go, or is it here we go, he says?
Yeah, that's what it says.
They've got the here we go, but they actually haven't got the done deal yet. Not many have been on club websites holding the shirt or signing the contract with the sports director. I would imagine this week we'll start seeing that, because we're going into July this week. And when you go into July, that's where, teams are going to start coming back. They're going to start going on tours and whatever. And, most managers really want to push for that, don't they? So I expect the ball to really start rolling, maybe even as early as tomorrow, first business day and whatever. So,
yeah, but the thing is, remember, Man United hold the keys to this Caicedo thing as well, because they can't actually officially go and get him until Mount, because they were going to use the Mount money for it. Mount and Havertz was meant to be the money for Caicedo while they go and get the other targets. You just saw that Jackson go on an 8-year contract, another 8-year contract, which is crazy, right? Which is again, it's on a cheap as well when you think about it, if you're spreading the costs, especially.
I thought something was put in. I thought something was put in place after the January transfer window. So it's still not in yet, so you can still do that.
I feel like if Man United's made contact over Rabiot, that's because they were prepared to give up on Mount and look towards other targets. That's the way I look at it. If the Athletic are saying on a Sunday, there's no way you're going to get Mount and Rabiot at the same time. You're going to have to look at a midfielder first before you go look at any other other priorities. Striker, you still got to get done. Goalkeeper still got to get done. That's two main priorities. And then fish around for whatever's around still. Because Caicedo is still going to be in and around. If Man United are going to be in talks, they can maybe delay that. Brighton want this battle, right? They think he's of 90 million pounds. That was what was quoted today. Maybe Man United are holding a bit chess pieces. And they said earlier, did they not, that Mount's representatives were meant to go to Chelsea and sort something out and see what the situation is, and we've heard nothing since.
I think it would be fantastic if Man United, instead of buying two midfielders, one of them is Mason Mount, you just get a free midfielder like a Rabiot, and then go spend the 90 million pounds on a Caicedo, outbid Chelsea, 85 million pounds, instead of buying Mason Mount, because you offered Mason Mount 50, you offered Chelsea 50 plus 5, so that's 55. Go to Brighton, offer them 85 or 90, because you weren't going to buy a midfielder cheaper than 40. Let's just be real here.
There's no way we're going to spend all that money on two midfielders, I don't think. There's no chance.
But you were going to spend it anyway, because Mason Mount was going to be 55. If Chelsea accepted that bid, you still have to buy another one.
We're not going to go for another high alternative Man United's priority list, because of Mount is the target of that. And then they'll probably look in the regions of the cheaper midfielders that you can go and get, right?
How much?
The other thing is, you just said if they went in,
like from England or from outside of England. Sorry, that's from England or from outside of England.
So my
what do you think? Yeah,
the way I think is, so Man United is meant to be the more expensive midfielder you're going to go get, the more expensive target, and then go look in the regions of midfielder like on a free or 20 million buy or 15 million buy.
Like, who you can get for 15 million?
Anyone that's amount to cover. You know, like I said,
I'm sorry, but if you get into the frees are here, But if you're talking 15 million, bro, I'm then gonna actually say, are they gonna be better than Fred or McTominay?
Exactly. Thank you, Daps.
Yeah,
15 million, bro. Tell me a midfielder you can get for 15
it's true,
million.
but when you think,
you could have spent 23 on Brozovic, and
when you think of
no,
valuation,
not if you're in the Premier League.
When you think of valuation, but when you think of valuation, Fred's only got a year left in his contract. Yes, you can go get 20, 25 million for him. Yes, you can go get 30 million off McTominay. But then when you tie someone down to another 4 or 5 year deal, instantly that valuation's gone up. And if they perform, it's going to stay consistent. That way you made a profit. See what you just said there is exactly why Man United's been failing in this market of trying to get rid of players, because you lower that market, that value so low, nobody wants it. Nobody can perform at Man United. No one wants them. Everyone knows Man United are desperate to get rid of players, so they're going to offer the 15 millions for Henderson, 20 million for whoever. The only thing that I think they're overrating right now is Maguire and McTominay's price, which I think they feel they can get for a higher price for 40 million.
Apparently, Maguire wants to stay.
No. Is Chlesea Wheeler a trusted source?
Yeah, I like Chris. Yeah, Chris Wheeler's
okay. So Chris Wheeler said 15 minutes ago.
I said Arthur Miller.
What?
No, sorry, I just read a comment real quick. He said Arthur Mello's available.
Chris Wheeler 15 minutes ago said something very interesting, because Man United were talking about Jadon Sancho's valuation of 60 and up. He said that Man United are willing, they're willing to listen to offers for 45 million pounds only for Jadon Sancho.
Wow.
And Maguire will be allowed to leave for 40 million. Nobody's paying 40 million for Maguire, and 40 million for McTominay. I think that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy.
That is crazy when you're looking along the lines that they're going to put Elanga's price at 10 million, along them lines. I don't understand it. Man United just need to be a little bit more realistic. But I feel like Man United will sell Sancho because today, again, we got linked with Kudus again. And it's one of Man United's targets. And that would make sense because Man United need a guy that can do what Sancho... The thing is with Sancho, if he was that kind of player that could do left wing, centre mid, attacking mid, right mid, great. How much is Kudus going to cost in this market, though? That's another part. Because Kudus is another one of Ten Hag's favourites.
Man United so Brighton like going for Kudus. It's like, no. We're gonna go get him. We need to go get him. We're like, no. You're snatching the guy. We were talking about it.
We linked him from back in January, to be fair.
Exactly.
I know he's been one of the targets for a long time, but I just don't know how much you're gonna play with Ajax to go and get that man. It might be a little bit unrealistic, I would say.
The other thing is, do you know what? I always feel in transfer window, you have to really start looking at is when you see little love triangles being formed, and like the players we've just listed, we're talking Mount, Chelsea, United want him. Then we're talking Caicedo, Chelsea want, United have said we're going in for him. Then you said Kudus, who Brighton have, who Caicedo currently plays for.
Wait,
who Chelsea want? No, sorry, not who he plays for, but who Brighton want. Right, Brighton want Kudus. Right, Brighton need to sell Caicedo. Chelsea want Caicedo, and all of a sudden it's like Chelsea, Man United, Brighton are all involved in all of these players, and you just think, how much do any of these teams actually want this player, or all of this? Is it a bit of a political move to try and sway the other team to do something and whatever? I don't know. The one thing with Caicedo, where I don't think United would. Mo, you said if you were United, you're going off at 85 for Caicedo, right?
And a free Rabiot tomorrow.
But the problem is with that.
Yeah, I would as well. Mo.
I know that.
I know. It's a no-brainer, right?
Let me finish. Let me finish on Caicedo. When you say offer 85 million, right? So Sean, Tottenham Sean, earlier on was talking about
Tottenham Sean.
Tottenham Sean. I'm sorry, Sean. Spurs Talk Show, Sean. He was saying about how Chelsea potentially have to do certain things to do with FFP. Now, I don't know about that, and I haven't followed that, so I'm not commenting on that at all. Yeah, but there could be truth in that, and if there is truth in that, then United could go and outbid Chelsea. Alternatively, there could be no truth in that, and if United go and bid 85, Chelsea just go, no, we really want him 90, right? And then all of a sudden, United are going to go, right, do we want to look stupid? or are we going to go 95? And then it turns into a bidding war. And that's the exact thing that certain clubs want to avoid, because you get drawn in that, and all of a sudden it's towards the end of July, like we did with Kane, to be frank with you, exactly like we did with Kane. It gets to the end of the transfer window and you haven't got any player because you've been focusing on a deal that actually you're never going to end up doing. So the Caicedo one, I think a lot of teams are just staying away from that.
I'm just going off what Cass said earlier. I'm going off what Cass said earlier.
45 million for Sancho, I think, is the reason is because his wages are so high. They've shaved money off so teams can come get him. Say, look, he's 60 million. Come take him. It will give you around the region of 45, 50 million. That would make sense because he is on about 50 million per year, if I'm correct.
Yeah, yes. So I wanna spin it a little bit. Since we're talking about Man United and get a different angle. I think Man United are focusing on the wrong positions. I think if Man United had an actual proper striker this year, you get 10 more points at least. I'm convinced. If you had a decent striker this year, you would have had 10 more points. You would have at least battled for second place. But instead of we're looking at all of this, they're looking at a goalkeeper, they're looking at a midfielder, and they're looking to sell a defender and get a defender in. Well, the main target now should be a striker for me. If I'm a Man United now and I can't close any deals and everyone around the market is crazy, the Mount, the Havertz, the Caicedos, the Rice, I'm going to go under the radar, try to sign a striker for real. Because if you end this window and you get, no matter, let's just put it this way, no matter who you get, Cass, this year, if you don't get a striker, you're in the same place.
Yeah, we are in the same place. Look, I don't think it's Man United.
Nothing is going to change, right? Nothing is going to change.
The thing is, Man United away from home, you need a bit of cutting edge, a bit of cutting grease just to go and get you a goal. And that's where your striker really bails you out. Look at early doors. Look at Hart. Look, Man City didn't play well against West Ham in their first few games. But guess who bailed them out? Just that one De Bruyne pass, which can be done by Bruno, you could say. And then that guy just to finish off and just help you out a little bit. If you're going to always rely on the same sort of guy that's not really a main number 9, they're not going to get you out of these situations from away games.
Who's that?
So I'll say, remember Haaland. Remember Haaland had like 5 touches the whole game, got 2 goals. They really paid that West Ham game, but he done them. He done the job because you know why? They got the guy to finish the food. Man United. That's why Man United.
Who's the guy you talked about at Man United? Then who's the guy?
Man United, I'm saying about this is why Man United struggle in away games so much because typically they always have the first 20 minutes either shaky or Man United have all the chances and just don't put nothing away, and then next 70 minutes of the game just a struggle and it's the
Fulham game. The Fulham game.
I'm just talking about away from home. Yeah, even away from home. Look at just to get a goal from Garnacho. Respect to Fulham though. They put up Craven Cottage has been very good this season, so you can't disrespect it. But it's grounds like Sellers Park and stuff like that where you feel like, you know what, they're good, but while they're on the down with Patrick Vieira, you should be going and taking them points, not a 1-1 with an Elise free kick magic at the end because we couldn't finish our dinner. We just about got past.
That's why Kane and Haaland are above 100 million because they can get you by themselves 15 to 20 points by themselves. Without anything, and that's why you gotta pay the top dollar. But your club doesn't want to go and pay.
This is why I say Højlund. Like, don't get me wrong, the prospect and it's all potential, but this is why you probably need more of a Colomwani. Someone that's a bit more favored because he's got a bit more about him because he's more established. And this is where you go from. Look, even if Højlund does come, he's a guy that can play striker, but you know, it doesn't mean he's exactly the cure.
You need a Kane. You need a Kane.
It's crazy. Yeah, Man United do need a Kane, and I know Sean doesn't think he's gonna go next season. What? I mean, of course he's going to go. His destination is pretty much Man United, and I'm pretty sure they'll be keeping tabs all season, like and tapping him up and all that stuff that goes on behind.
I still think, Cass, Kane is going to go to Man United at the end of this window. I think. I don't say I know.
How?
I think if you don't go and sign a striker, at the end the money will come from somewhere, and then he will be forced to sell. Remember, Spurs. People think that football clubs are just one-man show. Yes, Daniel Levy does this, Daniel Levy does that. But at the end, there is a business decision. I know that people don't want to be convinced. It's a business decision at the end that will have to be taken. Someone will have to tell this guy, listen, you're missing out on a plus 100 million because you're stubborn. It's not his club by himself. This club has a board.
They've done it with us with Berbatov. They've done it with us with Carrick. They do it all the time. It's Levy that's when he first came in charge, by the way. Pretty much. No, not Carrick, sorry. Carrick came a little bit earlier. My bad. That was wrong information. They done it with Berbatov though. So yeah, it could be a thing. Like they might be desperate to get rid of him just to you know,
You know
halt your
why I'm
season.
saying that, Cass, as well? And him,
I just can't. I
not
just can't see
actually,
it. Can't see it.
you're not negotiating for real for a striker. I feel like you're your club is too relaxed.
I don't think it's relaxed.
Your preseason is about to start
Did you
in
know what?
3 weeks.
Did you know what
You're
they said?
going to America in 3 weeks, and
Did
you're
you know
so
what?
relaxed.
You know what? But do you know what they said? They already claimed this. Like Ten Hag staff have claimed this is a preseason from hell. The preparations is a preseason from hell. This man is frustrated as next level frustrations. Look, if that's already the case, and you're going into preseason with the same squad. Remember, we got to admit, even myself, Man United overachieved last year. Man United overachieved. If you're going to go into preseason and even August with only 1 or 2 signings, that's not going to really make a massive difference unless they're absolutely top-notch level. What is the difference? You know, that's what you got to look at towards. Players can only get better. They can only get more confident. But it's the same batch. This is all I'm trying to go off of. That's why Mason Mount's never enough. Even Mason Mount and Rabiot, what's really different? It's not the midfield. The midfield can struggle and it needs to be a bit more, it needs to be more shape. Anyone can agree with Man United's midfield, a little bit more structure to it. It's just the going forward. It's lacking everything that you want in a top, arguably the worst front three in the top 6, you could say. And I'm only based on, yes, there's Rashford, but there's still no striker. And again, Anthony's yet to be seen if he can really take it up a level or not.
So what's going on with Martial as well?
I don't know, probably in the hospital somewhere.
No, but is he joking aside? Because
I'm actually.
How long has he got left on his contract?
1 year.
Okay. I
1
mean,
year, something like that.
I don't know. I think he's the one. Look, he's the one that everyone knows. My opinions over the years on Martial has always been. He's not a bad footballer. He's a good footballer, but I've always said
he's not the same
levels.
man.
But firstly, United's levels I always feel should be higher than that. Yeah, as a club. But secondly, this season in particular, I just think he's so unreliable now that you can't sit there and go, do you know what? We don't need to. We've got Martial, because if you do that, come September, he's going to be injured, and then you're going to be left with no one. So you have to. You know what? Maybe you do keep him. And if he does come fit, then that's a bonus. But you can't be. He can't be part of any of the plans at all.
That's when I tell you this man's body is just broken. And maybe it's not. Maybe preseason is exactly what he needs.
Yeah, but preseason he was good.
Yeah, but the medical staff at Man United are poor anyway.
They're poor. That's meant to be getting fixed as well. But the thing is, remember we had a doctor. We don't even have a doctor no more. But the whole point along them lines is like, Marcel, have you seen him? Have you seen his touch lately? Like, anyone be realistic? Have you seen it? Even his great attribute.
He hasn't played it. He hasn't played enough for me to see his touch.
Touch and turn has been one of his best attributes in his whole career. No. Don't give me that. Ronaldo scored a hat-trick 2 seasons ago. Like, I'm not trying to hear that crap. Against Tottenham and I think Norwich or something. But
hold on, look, we can't score at Tottenham's ground, so there's a lot to be said.
But what I'm trying to get at is, have you actually seen and witnessed this guy's touch and turn? It's so stiff now, and the touch bobbles off. Where Weghorst had a better touch than him in the later games.
I think the other thing is that now his confidence, and firstly, his own confidence in his own body is probably shattered, and secondly, his confidence is in the fact that I actually felt he did have a good pre-season, right?
He'd probably stay as Man United second this season.
He had a good pre-season, and he actually went into the season. I think he got injured just before the season started, but things were looking good for him. Things were looking good for him. But then, this season and everything that's happened, his confidence in his own body and in himself just must be shot now. Like, I don't really know.
The explosiveness is gone. And once you've lost that explosiveness as a player that relies on it, what are you? This is why I say Harry Kane, right, is a guy that's going to last time in the league, right? Another 4, he's only 30. He's only just turning 30 in 5 days. Another 4 or 5 years, guy's still going to be elite because he doesn't rely on explosiveness. He just does everything else that goes for him. He's got way rid of that, those injury records and stuff that James Maddison's been alluded to recently when he hasn't, he hasn't really been injured. He's just getting on with it. Man United don't have that, and we're not going to have that. And that could be Man United's issue again this season. And people don't realize it's not one striker. You talk about 2 midfielders, but we actually need 2 strikers. And when I'll keep saying that Liverpool are falling behind, Man United, takeover or not, need the best 6. Look, sorry, what's from August when the season starts,
I think
before
it's around about this. I think Charity Shield is like the 6th.
Man United need to put in the best 4 months. If it's that bad and you've only got 2 free signings, you need to put in the best 4 months until all that Premier League clearance, all of this stuff does, and because guess what? You're going to be paying a premium in January anyways, unless your scouting's got to do you a job. Unless you get Bruno Fernandes and he comes in and it makes a massive impact. Man United right now, as it currently stands, are the top 6 club that's going to drop to 6th, maybe 7th.
Do you know what? I've been saying this, Kaz. Look, I've been saying this, that I think of all of them again this season. And firstly, I thought United would drop out the top 6 last year, and I was wrong. I was completely wrong. This season, I think that you are at risk of dropping out the top 4. I do think the season after, because I do think you get Qatar once they come in, but I think it's not going to happen this year. I think you're right. But this is what we keep saying. It's all on the transfer window, because Liverpool still need to get a few players over the line.
You know what as well?
I'd worry.
You know as well. It's the same thing. Every Man United fan in here has PTSD when it comes to Manchester United and transfers. The only thing is about Man United, right, is at the end of the window in August, when you think all hope is gone, they pull something out the bag, like Casemiro. No one ever expected that.
Like Ronaldo out of at the end of the window.
Yeah, like one of those, and you're like, wait, where did that one come from? It's just one of those, and I don't like that. I shouldn't need to.
Harry Kane. It's Harry Kane.
It's not Harry Kane. Where we get the 120 million is not going to be found when you need to apply for so many different positions. I don't know where where you even think this is going to go with Harry Kane.
I don't know why I'm like, I have this. It's just a gut feeling. It's not based on information.
Do you know what?
It's not based on anything. It's just based on that they failed before. Harry Kane failed before to move to Man City, and I know he regrets it. And I know he's going to throw a tantrum. When he goes back from the vacation that he has now, he's going to try.
No, it's not. No, it's not. No,
Funny
it's not.
No, it's not. Listen, for me, Harry Kane has already decided in his head he is not going anywhere, and he's going to Manchester United next season on a free. I think, honestly, that is his payback to Daniel Levy. Not to Tottenham, because no Tottenham fan will hold that against him. No Tottenham fan. Tottenham fans have already like, Harry Kane deserves better. Harry Kane should move now, right?
Yeah.
But Harry Kane will be like, and also, by the way, let's be clear, Tottenham fans will not care about Daniel Levy being effed over financially either, because that's what he's done. He's made Tottenham financially stable. So they're not going to blame Harry Kane for Tottenham losing out on money. They're going to blame Daniel Levy for not accepting money earlier. So I think Harry Kane has already got it in his head. One more season at Tottenham, another 15, 20 goals to add to that record, and then go Man United on a free. I wouldn't even be surprised if that is as early as September or October, he's already in conversations with Man United about how much they're going to pay.
Can I ask a question, guys? How far is he from Alan Shearer's record? Does anybody know on top of your head?
40 goals?
I think it's 50. So it's 50.
Okay.
2 seasons and he can do that.
2 seasons. Anyway, guys, in the comments, before I move on, because I really want to talk about that Onana move, because now again today it surfaced that it's only 50 million euros. Only. Okay. So
you're happy about that. You're happy about that, yeah?
Of course, they're freaking crazy, man. What do you mean I'm happy? They're crazy. But anyway, I'm not gonna be talking about my club. I'm gonna talk about how he's gonna change Man United if he moves to Man United. But before that, guys, there's over 750 of you here. Can you get us at least to 300 likes, please? The like button, it looks like this. It's free, doesn't cost you a penny. And also, I know you guys ask a lot of questions in the chat. If I see one, I will start it, but it really flies in front of me. And also, when we're talking, so super chats are welcome. We're going to stop in the middle. But apologies if I don't address everybody, because I know you guys are talking to us. It's just very hard for us to actually flag a comment while they're flying. The super chats, they get starred automatically. So moving on to Onana.
We moved into a different queue, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So moving on to Onana. Onana for 50 million. It's one of the best businesses to ever be done in the Premier League, in my opinion.
You need to address it in pounds or euros, because you do euros. I do pounds.
It said euros. It's actually said euros. It said Inter will sit at the table for 50 million euros plus add-ons, whatever that is.
So what's 50? So hold on, but 50 million euros is about 45 pounds. Yeah,
44.
42 million.
40.
Depends
It's
on the exchange rate
crazy.
you get.
Actually, you know what? It's so true. Are you going Sainsbury's or are you going to go to the proper place?
Yeah, real talk. Depends. You're getting the money changed at the
black
travel.
market.
You get it changed at the travel exchange at the airport, or are you actually getting it changed in Italy? 'Cause if you get it changed in Italy, you'll probably get a better rate. So
someone
Yeah,
said,
maybe.
wait and watch. He's gonna join Chelsea. Okay. Anyway, I think even if De Gea stays at Man United,
That's awful.
he's still gonna get a top goalkeeper. He's not gonna be the first goalkeeper next year. He's
You know
not.
what
He
it's-
can't.
must be-
Ten Hag is not a guys. Ten Hag, don't take Ten Hag as an idiot. He's not an idiot. He's gonna call them out in the media. He already
clown.
said. He already said, "I'm not happy." Imagine if they don't give him a goalkeeper because they didn't play football they want because of De Gea. It's as simple as that. It's not even because of a striker. It's because of David De Gea.
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah, I think there's a valid point to that. For years, David De Gea has when United have been at their worst, he's been an outstanding shot stopper. He's probably gained them a lot of points and stopped them from finishing lower for a few years. But I think you're right. This season, there'll be games where it's actually like, that's gone now. So despite the fact that he can't play out from the back as well, actually, there's been some, I mean, the FA Cup final is a prime example that
It was
now
now having benched for 200k as well, Daps.
Yeah.
What is that? Like, some of your players don't even earn that seat, and they're Champions League winners.
Yeah, I never knew he was on as much as that.
Do you know what I mean? No, he's on more than that. He's on 350 or
And
He's on
to be
350, Daps. He's on
And
350.
to be fair, like I just said, there have been certain seasons where actually he's maybe earned being one of United's top earners because he has kept United. He's been so good for United over the years. He has, even when United were at their worst, when there were defence in front of him. He's had Maguire, Smalling. He's had a lot of very average centre backs in front of him. But now, when you look at that price, yeah, you want him gone. 350,000 a week on a guy that
and the new contract is going to be 200k proposed. But then what Man United's taken out is that there's no promise of that you're going to be first team keeper. This is what I mean about this guy's mentality. I can adore the guy, and I don't like to see someone go out like this when someone's done so much for the club and been there for a decade and given their best years to you, right? And you have to try to treat it with respect. It's hard, right? He's been one of those type of players. But you're trying to do what Ander Herrera done and ransom the club, you know? Like, you're trying to ransom the club now. So now my allegiances are switching differently in my head, thinking, nah, bro, you would accept the contract and you fight for your position. If you think you're that good and Man United want to be mentality monsters and go further, you need to prove yourself again, because that season, you typically in a top squad, you're only good as your last game, and you're only as good as your last season. You don't have much credit to run on no more, you know, especially when the games evolve differently, you know. So I need a Nana in my life. I think we go and get him. I think it's
how much is Costa?
Well, Man United's been in
They
talks
want
for
Man United to pay the release clause somehow.
Yeah,
What's
but
the
they
release
can't.
clause?
They got 5 days to make up 50 million euros.
Is that what the release clause is on Costa?
No, they want 65 million pounds is the release clause. But I think Man United have to play hardball. I wouldn't mind either or, but I'm kind of set with Onana. I think Man United fans need someone that's already established, not somebody that's going to, don't get me wrong, Diogo Costa's going to go on to be a great goalkeeper, right? And he's going to go to a top club somewhere. But Man United need now, not later, now. We need something that's probably the finished article right now. And I think Onana currently is. That man, he does something that most keepers don't do in world football other than Edison.
Trying to take people on.
Yeah, and that.
That Edison doesn't do.
Nah, to be fair, maybe not so much now, but Edison used to do that. He did.
He dribbled
to be fair,
did he dribble Mane on the line?
Yeah, he did. I remember there was one against Wolves that was hilarious from Edison, because you know Pep's triangles thing, where when you become part of the triangle, you stay part of the triangle until the triangle moves on and you're no longer part of the triangle. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. In a passing move. And he came out and he found himself as part of, round the halfway line, found himself as part of a triangle. And the player just kept passing the ball back to him. He's like, oh, I can't go back to my goal yet. I've got to stay until someone else eventually got over there. But I think he's cut that out this year, Edison, a bit. He's changed a little bit. But yeah.
He's become a good shot stopper by the sounds of it.
Oh, in Europe.
In his later career, like he's what, 30 now? About 29, 30?
The most bizarre thing in the Champions League final is that his distribution was really bad.
It's crazy about a year ago. It's crazy about a year ago, Daps. Like the fan base was split and wanted like not a year ago. You could about a year ago, and even
it
less
was a year ago.
So
all it was is all of all of the newer City fans that were obsessed with the Champions League,
Yeah.
just kept saying we will never win a Champions League with Edison. I've actually designed a flag, so obviously I've got the main road.
You almost didn't with Edison,
but we did with Edison ultimately. So I've got the main road losers flag, which is based on people on Twitter saying that we will never win a Champions League with mentalities like mine as a main road fan, because like I back players, and whenever people go against players, I'm like, these are the same players that are winning us leagues year in, year out. You're going off one game, and now I actually designed one that I want to get one that says you'll never sing that with Edison, and a picture of him on it, because now we are singing it with Edison. But
to be honest, this year his level in terms of like shot stopping went up, and he is more composed in terms of passing. Like he doesn't try these crazy long passing as much as before. So he's like more of like, give me the ball, I'll just pass it to the closest one. I'm not gonna try to do something crazy. And I think it helped. I think it helped him.
I think there's still one or two he still every now and again does do those weldy passes. But I think the key is when everyone knows you're going to do that, they start being wise to it. And, you know, especially with Haaland, people are probably always thinking he might try a long ball over the top to Haaland. So they're kind of ready for it. Whereas when you've got Rodri and whatever, and Pep's probably said to him, look, just stick to doing. But with his shot stopping, you actually look in, I think, the last 16 quarters, semis and final, he made massive saves that kind of kept us in ties and whatever. Again, remember against Real Madrid? There was one against Real Madrid where he came out and made a massive save. But yeah,
I saw it. The fingertips. I know what you're talking about. It was this one, right? This campaign, right?
Yeah.
I remember. It was towards the end. I remember that was mad. I think fingertips onto the bar.
I think the other thing with Man United, though, going back to Man United, is where now it's so important is, look, this season, Ten Hag's first season, I think Ten Hag's been on a journey that any manager goes on. I honestly believe, obviously, he wanted De Jong, and then 2 or 3 games in, I think he very swiftly saw United's defence at the time and where United were then, and thought, and when the board came to him and said we could get Casemiro, I think he thought, yeah, that is where we are right now. We don't necessarily need a player like De Jong yet. We need more of a Casemiro more than we needed De Jong. And then even this season, I understand where people say he's still playing a kind of almost Ollie style of football, as in it's still very counter. But again, that might be where Man United are. I think
you can't play the way you want to play when you got.
If you look at City, and that's what I was going to say. If you look at City's first season under Pep, we tried to play out from the back, right? With Joe Hart, then Claudio Bravo, with Zabaleta, who couldn't really play out from the right because he was of a certain age. We had, I think, who was it on the left? Kolarov, I think. We didn't have the right players for playing out from the back. The minute Edison came in, everything changed, because then it was like, I think Edison came in, Walker came in, and all of a sudden, right, we can now play out from the back. And I think that is where Man United, maybe to even start moving into a style of football that Ten Hag wants to play, they need a goalkeeper. Otherwise, you can't even build. You can't build from the back. You can't. We've seen it. That FA Cup final, I think, just highlighted it to Ten Hag, because every time there was a chance to maybe take the pressure off, he was just giving the ball back to City, and then instantly it's like, right, they're coming back up at us again. So I think you have to.
What about the right back and the left back position? There were talks earlier about that, like they wanted to replace Wan-Bissaka and Dalot with other ones, and then it died down. They got new contract.
Dalot got a new contract. The fullback situation, because it's not a priority position, they're not going to address it just yet.
Sorry, they want to replace Wan-Bissaka.
Yeah, they wanted to.
Either or, Wan-Bissaka or Dalot. I think they have to go in the season with the same fullback. I don't think the fullbacks. It's not bad.
Wan-Bissaka had a great end to the season, didn't he?
Went half the season, I'd say, from January.
Yeah.
Dalot will be crucial in build up, and I think Shaw will as well. And Malassia's got a lot to prove himself, that he doesn't falter in the games that we need him. When Shaw needs to go centre back just in case, or he's tired, right? So I don't think Man United's going to do any deals on any sort of fullbacks. It's just not a priority of an area. If Maguire leaves, then you go get your backup, or your option, Axel Disasi, or go forward with Kim Min-jae, and that's yet to be seen in the next 5 days. By what, Friday? We should learn, or further than that. You know, we should
I
learn
actually
about
don't think
shape.
that Man United should go for a top centre back. If you are able to sell Maguire for 35 million pounds or even 30, take that money and invest it somewhere else. Get one of the youngsters to fill in if someone gets injured. Why do you want to have 4 first teamers that are class?
Because
Varane's injury
when you
concerns
think,
potentially.
Varane can't play 2 games a week
Yeah.
because of injury concerns. You think about the midfield, right? It's not got retention. So what can you have with retention? He's got to carry the ball. Lissandro Martinez. Let's say there's a Kim Min-jae. Shaw's a good ball carrier. Low can carry the ball, to be fair. And he's actually good, very good inverted as well. And then in and around, you've got Anthony, who should be that guy, but he hasn't been yet. You need your vocal man, and then you got your midfield in and around. And let's say Anana is there. You go higher up the pitch. That makes sense, right? That's the way I look at it personally.
I just don't think that the priority is to get a centre back like Kim Min-jae now. If you don't have the money to invest in a striker, you take the money and invest in a striker instead of investing in a Kim Min-jae.
Yeah, it would make sense.
That's how I see it, to be honest. Like replacing Maguire with the Sassy or Kim Min-jae isn't going to solve your problem, because you know that you have 2 starting centre backs, which are Martinez and Varane. And even if one of them gets injured,
but that don't matter.
they even have Shaw.
Well, when you think about it along them lines, but why is City allowed to have Stones, Laporte, you know, Diaz? Am I missing another one out or something?
No, bro. I think you're right, Cass. I think, Cass, you're right. The thing is, of course, I can understand why United want another centre back. Yeah, I can understand why United might even want a better left back, a better right back. But you kind of said it. It's a priority, and the reason why City are where we are now is because over years we've built and we've got to a model now where we replace players at a certain age. And now we are at a place where 2-3 signings in a window is more than enough to keep the level up. Whereas with you, you're spot on. You need to address the forward one. I think, just quickly on the Mount one, I think the reason why Mount was probably done first, and Mount has been the one that was done first, is because I think United probably thought the Mount one was the easiest one to do, because the rumours was Chelsea needed money ASAP. So they probably thought we can go in there, slap 50 down and get him and walk away and have it done very quickly. And I think that straight away has been why you're probably a bit maybe behind now, because the fact that Chelsea played hard ball.
Yeah. Cass, remember that Man City, you're talking about Laporte, Diaz and Stones. These are the actual 3 top signings. The rest are Nathan Ake, who's very cheap from Bournemouth. And you're looking at Nathan Ake today. You're looking at Akanji today. Akanji is 50 million pounds, which is what I'm telling you, you should go for someone like Akanji. You should go for someone like Ake, hoping that they will develop. But going and spending the 40 million or a 45 million in Kim Min-jae now, he's not your priority. I think that money should go somewhere else.
I'd rather have a successor for Varane. I'd rather Varane can come in on Champions League nights and Kim Min-jae can play Premier League and all these other competitions that might be needed. That's what I look at for. Varane needs the successor, whether we like or not, because, again, I can't be on toes like Marcel if he's going to get injured every time he goes down. I shouldn't think like this. Every time that he's on the ball.
Lindelof.
Look, Lindelof is a great backup. I like this choice. He's a good backup. But that's all he is a good backup. Lindelof is basically like our Ake or Kanji, you could say, or whatever. Or
you a Kanji, not your. I mean,
yeah. Who's the other guy? From I don't know now.
They have only 2. Laporte is out.
Ben White for Arsenal. That's our Lindelof. You know, he can play right back if need be, and he can go a bit forward, and he's good on the ball. He's just one of those.
Arsenal fans are going to go mad now. Oh, Ben White and Lindelof, no, they're not at the same
level.
Well,
I was going to say, to be fair, when he said Lindelof is our Ake, I was going to say, how dare you? I initially was going to say Akanji, but then I thought, how dare you on that as well?
How dare you?
I do, but he's saying, no, but he's saying, I do get what Cass is saying is he's their equivalent of. Like, ultimately, what he's saying is he's our 4th or 5th. He's not our, he's not our 1st, 2nd, or 3rd. So
for me, Lindelof is just okay.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
in the right system, though, he might look better. Okay.
I want Kim Min-jae because that means we've got 2 centre backs.
He's all over the place, bro. He's all over the place.
We'd have 2 centre backs who are very good at progressing the ball and very good at ball carrying, and they're hard to tackle. That's what I want.
Here's the problem, guys. Who's going to sit on the bench? Who's the starting? Oh,
Lindelof. I wouldn't mind Varane sitting on the bench. Ganzo. It says besides signings, I think it's just important for players like Anthony, Delo, Garnacho. People forget about Garnacho's second season. Level up, and for Rashford, Case, and Bruno to be more consistent over the entire year for the team to improve hugely. Yeah, big up for that.
And I think, isn't Garnacho playing in the under-21s at the moment?
I think so.
Yeah,
he looks like he's on holiday at the moment. He's doing something.
I swear he's playing in the under-21s.
Yeah, the thing is,
I think Bruno doesn't need to be more consistent. Bruno's consistent.
Bruno needs rest. He needs to stop playing him all the time.
I don't like this narrative. Bruno is a whiner. He's a crybaby, everything, but he's very consistent with Man United. He has been. Like, people like wanted. I like this narrative, and Johnny is putting it in people's minds. To be honest,
agreed.
It's like he is your most consistent. He's the most reliable player at Man United.
Yeah. He's a moaner. You're spot on. He's moaner. He's a rat. I'd love to punch him in the face, but people don't ever punch people in the face. I'm joking. I'm not.
Yeah.
I am joking. But I do think Bruno, you're right. He's one of the most consistent players.
He needs rest, though. He needs rest, and I can see why you'd want Mount, because that's a like replacement. I wouldn't cry over Kim Min-jae. If you go and get a backup set, I'm not going to cry over that, because it's not. Again, I hear you, Mo. He's not priority.
You need it. You just want priority. If you're telling me I'm just going to get Mount, I want Kim Min-jae. Then at least go get me some build-up players that can do me a favor and get me up the pitch and actually keep the ball, from the back, and build from the back and have build up proper one. That's all I say. It depends on how you want to look at it and how Ten Hag. We don't know how Ten Hag and Man United want to go forward with the team. I guess the moral, to cut this short, the moral of the story is what you want to see is consistency in players that can move you up the pitch.
Of course.
Right? Whereas you're worried that next season you might start with Maguire and De Gea again.
No, I don't feel that. You know what? No, not Maguire.
There's no holding onto the ball or moving you up the pitch there at all.
Yes. I think Axel Disasi is a good option because he's cheap as well. I think he's a very good option. Not pacey, but very good on the ball, very strong. And he's a good option. Like, if you want to get a brute next to Lindelof and that's your second pairing, it makes a good pairing. I'd rather get someone that's left-footed. That's all I'm going to say on that.
And for Man United, this is it for Man United. They haven't done any business this summer yet. And we're almost end of June, but nobody else does. Only Liverpool, the slow Liverpool. But that's it for us today, guys. If you're on your way out, hit that like button. Check that notification bell and make sure it's on so you know when we go live. Thank you for everybody. Thanks for the people that stuck with us today. Lots of you here, always amazing. And we'll see you tomorrow afternoon.
We'll be live tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow afternoon, probably. Can't say for Cass, but probably early-ish afternoon. I would imagine there's going to be a lot of news tomorrow. So
it's Monday.
Turn those notification bells on, please, because we will be live tomorrow with the latest news during the day.
And
sleep well.